All right, let's get into it. So, our first review of the day is going to be for the Marvel Disney Plus series, animated series, Eyes of Wakanda. Eyes of Wakanda is an anthology series there, anthology miniseries there in the world of Marvel's Wakanda there. It focuses on the war dogs of Wakanda. War dogs, if people don't know, are kind of the spies of Wakanda that go out into the real world, outside the country, the isolated country of Wakanda, and they do missions there. They spy on people. Here in the series of Eyes of Wakanda, there a lot of the missions of the War Dogs are to retrieve Wakandan artifacts to take and to bring back home to Wakanda because they don't want the outside world having that type of technology, having that type of power because it could greatly sway the outside world if they had that. So that's kind of a lot of the jobs of the War Dogs in this series that you're following. Each episode here follows different war dogs, different missions. Um, there's some of the episodes that do interconnect with each other there, but for the most part, yeah, you're following different protagonists every single time, and yeah, that's kind of the setup you have of this. It's a 4 episode series. Each episode is about 30 or so minutes, not too long, about 31, 32 minutes. There that you have it. I'll get your thoughts on it, Chris. What are your thoughts on Eyes of Wakanda?
So I like that little bit you were playing earlier before we started. One of the creators of the show was talking about it. Out of the 4 episodes, I really enjoyed the last 3. The first one was I was okay with it. I don't know, just I know it's comic books, but it's the Black Panther world, and this guy who defects from the culture is doing this like lion theme thing. I'm like, okay, I get it. Um, um, but I love the story with the Dora Milaje. The next episode, as someone who loves Greek mythology, that kind of thing, the inclusion of Achilles and Memnon and the way they play with that mythology, I thought was really cool. Like I really liked that. Um, Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone real quick. The next episode was episode 3 was the Iron Fist episode, and again, I liked how they played with history. It's a woman Iron Fist, Asian woman, and she kind of has this kind of sensual, potentially romantic history with this Wakandan war dog. They, she saved him, and he took something that they needed, but he took the entire thing, and the entire thing kind of he didn't need the entire thing, but yeah, it's just the way they play with history, time is really cool. And the last episode was really cool with the time traveling last queen of Wakanda, the current Black Panther, because of everything that was being taken back throughout history that had a negative effect on the timeline. So I liked that through line story. I didn't know, kind of like What If. I didn't know it was all going to connect in the end, and it did connect in the end. I thought that was really cool. The only thing I really did not like about this show was the animation style, and I put it. I said this in my reaction in my review. Historically, I don't know who they're hiring at Marvel, what they're doing. I never liked the way their movies or television animated looks. I don't know what they're doing. Like, historically, we know DC dominates that, but like, I don't know why it's always the animation style. I don't like the way this stuff looks. Unless it's Sony Animation Spider Verse looks like that's groundbreaking, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning animation. I don't know what it's just this. What If, Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man, all these MCU adjacent animated series, they're not put. I don't know. They all look a little cheap to me. The
Mm.
animation, the world, everything that they're creating, the visuals, it just looks a little cheap. Like they just kind of how when Dave Filoni went on to do Rebels, a show about unique, brand new characters, they only gave him some money to do it, which is why Rebels doesn't look as good as the Clone Wars. And I feel like that's what happened with these MCU animated shows. They're just not backing up the money truck for these shows, and they just the story is quality, but the way it looks for me just isn't quality. But other than that, I really liked Eyes of Wakanda.
Mm. Yeah, I was going to talk to you about the animation of it in the series, and like you mentioned, like a lot of these animated series that they've done. You mentioned gave examples like What If. You gave examples of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man. Yeah, a lot of it does kind of have this kind of cheap kind of feel. It doesn't really flow very natural. A lot of the animation
Exactly.
um, here and then, like a lot of the characters, their designs look kind of blocky, and the way they kind of move is kind of weird looking at times.
It's like a PlayStation 2 graphics, Jack and Dexter kind of, it looks dated.
Yeah. Um, and the designs of it, I mean, these could be really cool designs if you really animate it properly there, especially with the African features of a lot of these people and the clothing and the look of there. That could be really nice there. But yeah, just some way. I mean, they move just doesn't look all that fluid, which I don't really like all that much. So that was kind of one issue there. So I don't know what's kind of going on there. And then also, I don't know, it being 4 episodes, it kind of feels like this was maybe like just like a proof of concept, like an extended proof of concept, that they were just kind of like, okay, let's just see how these 4 episodes do. Let's see how these people respond to this, and then if people really like it, then maybe we're going to continue with it. If people really like these 4 episodes, with that. But the stories in the episodes, I will say, are pretty solid, are pretty decent there. I like the last two the best out of the 4 episodes. I really thought the Iron Fist episode was really good, and then the Last Panther one was really good. Even though I think like uh, the thing that the Last Panther is doing, like the story behind it, is that they have to basically, like you said, take the artifact back to its place because it'll affect history if they take all their artifacts back. And I'm like, well, wait, aren't you kind of making a case for colonization if you do this? So you're saying that taking artifact from cultures is good? And I was like, maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know, but you kind of had that in it. But I did think it was cool, the last Black Panther from 500 years in the future coming back. I thought that was pretty nice there. And then the story of like this young war dog, his name was let me see if I can find his name real quick. Caudy, I think, or no, it was I'm trying to find it. Tarif, maybe was his name. And Tarif, who was the third in line for the throne, so he was trying to find his place of like, okay, where do I fit in this? Where do I make my mark in history? So I thought that was kind of a good story there. And what did you think about the second episode, Legend of Lies?
I love the second episode. Like I said, the whole thing with like Greek mythology and the inclusion of Achilles, who historically is a great warrior. He's one of the first heroes in literature, like the creator said. Um, and this guy, as a baby, was born. The gods grabbed him by the ankle, dipped him in water. Every part of him was submerged except for his ankle or his heel. So his Achilles heel is his weak spot. So he's this iconic great warrior, never loses a fight. He's the best of the best. But what happens when he comes into contact with a Wakandan warrior who just like like y'all don't know because we're Wakanda, we're the best. Like we're like not Mandalorians, but like we are the best fighters. Our technology is the best. Like we are ahead of you guys in every other way. Even back then, I did think it was funny. Even in these like ancient times, they still had technology like futuristic tech. I'm
Yeah,
like, I understand being ahead because of vibranium, but to be this far ahead, like
because this is
this
like
far back.
because some of this takes place like certain episodes like 1260 BC,
That's
1200
what I'm
BC.
saying. Yeah, and they got like ching 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 ching. I'm like, hmm, okay, like all right, like just simple vibranium plating isn't enough. It has to move and augment your strength and like already all right, cool. Um, but yeah, Achilles and Memnon, who's this Wakandan war dog, are best friends, and that brothers turn enemies because um, he's not telling Achilles obviously that he's Wakandan and he's actually a spy and he's on a mission. He's not actually on his friend's side. He's on Wakanda's side, and when Achilles finds that out, he's hurt, and they kind of go at it. And of course, you got to get that heal. He takes that hit, and yeah, I personally really enjoyed episode 2. Episode 1 for me was the weakest out of all of them.
Mm. And you mentioned kind of the dynamic of the war dogs, and they are spies, and then them being spies, they have to build sometimes these relationships with people, and they have to betray them at the end because what I mean. They're there for a mission, and they're there to get this artifact, this object, and then go back home to their country. And you saw that also in the third episode,
Yeah.
as well, there of him infiltrating this country, and then him stealing this object, and she was coming back for that ass. She was like, "I'm," she went back to they have followed him. Um, but I thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic to explore of like the nature of these war dogs who like give everything to their country at the sacrifice of their sometimes their own happiness and their own kind of personal ambitions. They are going to do it for Wakanda, do it for the glory of their country to do the mission. I thought that was an interesting aspect of things just from that. The weakest episode, I do think maybe it's the first one. I mean, it's the introduction to kind of maybe the whole concept of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
you know,
just the villain for me. Just the golden lion thing I thought was a little cheesy because the whole Black Panther, like Black Panther, the first movie, the golden jaguar necklace. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, is there a bronze cheetah out there, a bronze tiger, or a silver cheetah? Like, are we gonna keep doing this
well, there
color?
was White Tiger in Daredevil.
It was a white tiger.
It was White Tiger.
Yeah,
I think Bronze. I think that's DC. I think there's a character named.
bronze tiger is DC. You're right, but
Yeah,
yeah, I just thought the gold lion thing was a little cheesy. That's all.
yeah.
I
That
I,
was voiced by.
I love the Dora Milaje though.
That was the lion character. Nikita. Nikiti. Is voiced by Chris Williams. People might know he was Black Lightning. Uh, he was
Nice.
that. He was the chocolate covered Incredible there in Black Lightning. So yeah, he had him there. I haven't seen him in a minute there. I'd love to see him in more stuff. But yeah, so he was there. But yeah, I think these are some solid episodes. I think if people want to check it out, again, it's only 4 episodes, 30 minutes each. Even though there was an issue I had with the animation, I still think it's pretty good storytelling wise there. And just to explore more of the world of Wakanda is also interesting. Is this kind of like, as far as them expanding the world of Wakanda, is this like a great vehicle for that? Of like maybe the history of the war dogs. I know. Don't they also have like a potentially a series coming about like maybe just about the Dora Milaje or the history of the Dora Milaje or something like that? I think is on the docket. I can't remember all that much. Tiger GD said, "I feel like it's the best animation of any of these MCU series so far, and I like the look of it more than Predator: Killer of Killers."
Ooh,
There,
I
so
haven't
yeah,
haven't seen it yet.
um, yeah, that there. Speaking about Predator: Killer of Killers, I think it has somewhat of a similar kind of animation style there.
Really? Like it looks cheap.
I say it looks cheap. Actually, not really. I mean, this looks more. This looks better rendered. It looks better.
The
Hold on.
trailer looked good.
Let me show it real quick. This looks no, I'd say nah, it doesn't really. This
No,
looks
that looks great.
yeah, this looks
It,
better
it,
rendered.
look- it looks it looks kinetic. The movement.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
like it looks sharper. I think in a lot of sense.
absolutely. This looks great. I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any big drawbacks for you with Eyes of Wakanda besides the first episode? Yeah.
Besides the first episode and the animation style, no other drawbacks. I thought this was. I didn't know when they first mentioned this series a few years ago. They did announce this was happening. I didn't know it was going to be animated. I thought it was going to be like a live action thing. But yeah, this is a great way to expand. It's very smart to just call it Eyes of Wakanda, not Black Panther. Eyes of Wakanda.
Mhm.
Because people are eagerly awaiting the return of a T'Challa to the MCU, so they don't want to like touch it in that way, which I get. That was smart. Um, but yeah, as someone who doesn't need Black Panther to love and appreciate this world, I love the story of the War Dogs. I love this expansion of their history, and yeah, it was only 4 episodes. Each of them was like a half hour long. I'd watch more. You know, keep the animation style, or either make it better, or keep it the same way. I'll still watch it.
Mm, okay. Do you think it should have been longer? Maybe 6 episodes, 8 episodes,
Um,
10 episodes?
I'm not gonna say I think it should have been longer, but now that it's over, I would watch more. That they should continue.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want a second season, maybe second season there.
Yeah, second season, maybe 5 or 6 episodes this time.
Mm,
Um, and
okay.
yeah, like you can play with time, you can play with history. There's so much you can pull from. There's people don't know this. There's black people all over the world. So
No, that's not true.
nah.
That's not
But yeah, different cultures, different times. Put a Wakandan war dog there, tell a story. Yeah, I'm down.
yeah. Yeah, and they do a lot of that, mixing Greek mythology. You got that with the Trojan War there with, Achilles. You got Asian culture that's mixed in here with Kunlun. Like a lot of that, again, playing with the back history of the MCU with a lot of these characters like that, I think is fun and interesting. There and like placing a war dog there, that's interesting there. I think that's pretty good. You can play with that. And getting into, like I said, I like the more seriousness of it, how it got into the war dogs and how it's such a strain on them to actually be one, and what the toll that takes on you as a person to be the spy in this nature. I did like the conversation there with that. I think it happens in episode 2, Legend and Lies, there, where you actually see a character from the first episode return as an older version, and then you see that. I think that's pretty good. And yeah, I think it's good also the expansion of the world of Wakanda. The more, that I think is also interesting because that's a very interesting thing as far as war dogs, Dora Milaje, the history of the country of Wakanda. I think that's very interesting and fascinating, and I love how the series kind of gets into a little bit of that aspect of it as well. So, um, I'm sorry, what did you give it? Did you give it a tune in, or did you give it a stream it?
Stream it.
Stream it. Okay, I also give it a stream. It's strong stream it there for Eyes of
Yeah,
Wakanda.
a strong stream it. A very high stream it.
You got to specify that
Yeah.
there with Eyes of Wakanda on Disney Plus right now.